Canelo. Jesus, Lord. Come on. You're getting paid all this money to fight against a runner who we all knew was going to run. The Cuban style. You chose him. And now you say you hate fighting runners? Well then, don't fight runners.
I don't know what the he was doing, you know. I heard that that's never happened to him until he got with Reynoso's group, you know what I'm saying? So maybe they are doing shit that they're not supposed to be doing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they didn't clean him out at the right time and he got caught up, you know? So, you know, I guess I'll just wait for him too. I just got to focus on July 12th. You know, after that, anything can go.
It was, it's not interesting to see the fight when one person doesn't want to win at all. But it was hard to fight for Canelo because he was always aiming, and even the skull didn't throw punches, and it's hard to catch him. You know, he's just moving, but his movement is.
It's over. Boxing's biggest star, Canelo Alvarez, may finally be finished, not due to a devastating knockout or the weight of age, but because of the controversy that has shadowed him for years. Steroid use, PEDs, and constant doping allegations have taken their toll. Once celebrated as the pound-for-pound king, Mexico's golden boy, and Floyd Mayweather's rightful successor, he now finds himself overwhelmed by scandal.
They don't got Tank as one of the top guys, pound for pound. And you look, they can rate Canelo up there. And I just feel like Canelo is one of the guys. He's one of the top guys up there, but he's not the only guy. Even though Spence went through what he went through, and Crawford, these guys should be rated up there. Every time they went out there, they done what they had to do. There's so many young fighters that's up and coming that we don't talk about. That kid Ennis, boo, don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him. I tell these fighters, don't. Hell of a fighter. Benavidez should be ranked in the top pound for pound. But what we don't talk about is, you know, Canelo. Steroids. They don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
You think he was clean the night he fought?
I'm saying, I don't know.
From the 2018 clenbuterol scandal to rivals like Terrence Crawford, David Benavidez, and Guillermo Charlo openly claiming he isn't clean, doubts have only grown, fans now questioning whether his entire career was built on more than talent alone. For Canelo Alvarez, it feels like the end. Farewell. But let's break it down. Canelo Alvarez was never just a boxer. He was a phenomenon. Turning professional at only 15, the red-haired fighter from Guadalajara carried the dreams of a nation, facing anyone, anywhere, and earning a reputation as the most relentless worker in the sport.
Everything you want, beautiful family. What motivates you to keep going? Why do you keep going?
I love boxing. I love what I do. I still enjoy my training camps. I enjoy boxing. I love this. I enjoy a lot this. So, and I want to continue make history because I want to put my name in a big stage, in a big position for my history. So, and I still enjoy it. I love what I do.
He rose to become Mexico's biggest superstar, a unified champion, the face of boxing pay-per-view, and ultimately made history as the first undisputed super middleweight champion.
People talk shit and say whatever they want to say, but look at Canelo. Canelo is still the man.
Yes,
you know,
he's been for a long, long time.
And he jumps in there and he does it and he goes to work, and it's hard to stay at that level for a very long time. And Canelo's another guy. I mean, what's this guy clipping 40?
He faced Gennady Golovkin, Miguel Cotto, Sergey Kovalev, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant. The list goes on. And with each victory, the Canelo legend only grew. But legends aren't invincible, and in 2018, the first cracks began to appear.
Canelo, man, I don't know if he's cheating.
What do you mean?
I feel like Canelo juices. But I'm a Triple G fan, so I'm a
I have,
say that ahead of time. I just like
There's
Triple
a
G.
lot of money on the line, and if I could get away with it, I would do it as well.
Some tainted beefs.
I think, well, he definitely got busted once for something, but it could have been from tainted beef. We don't know. But it also could be that, we should probably leave them the fuck alone and let them do whatever they want to do. Do you want to see Manny Pacquiao fight or not? Right? I want to see him juiced up, fighting at 45 years of age, coming in with a full six-pack, lighting people on.
The world was eagerly awaiting the Canelo versus GGG rematch, one of the most anticipated fights of the decade. Then, just weeks before the bout, boxing was shaking Canelo tested positive not once, but twice for clenbuterol, a banned substance.
Failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May, and he's blaming Mexican cows. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight, and he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight, standard operating procedure. This time he popped for a substance called clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally, cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat. He's not a cheater. I did not intentionally take clenbuterol. Problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico where some of the cattle are being injected with clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States, even some places in the United States, will use clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because his training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement.
His explanation was contaminated beef in Mexico. While it's true that clenbuterol has a history of appearing in cattle feed there, fans weren't convinced. To them, it sounded like a convenient excuse for a fighter who always appeared bigger, stronger, and more powerful than everyone else.
Mayweather Jr. just reignited controversy about Canelo Alvarez's legacy. Not only did he call their 2013 fight easy, Floyd went deeper. He brought up the failed steroid test from 2018, Mayweather said. Canelo's transformation raised red flags and questioned whether all those knockouts were clean. This dude talking about eating bad meat? Are you eating steroid cows? To Mayweather. This isn't trash talk, it's about protecting the sport. He believes Canelo's record is clouded by performance enhancers, especially against smaller fighters. With Crawford stepping up in weight, Floyd's warning hits hard. Be smart. Don't base everything on...
Canelo was suspended for 6 months by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The fight was delayed, and his once untouchable reputation came under serious scrutiny. That's the thing about Pez in boxing. Once your name is tied to them, it never truly fades. Fast forward to today, and the storm hasn't passed. It's intensified. David Benavidez openly said, if Canelo were 100% confident in himself, he'd fight me. But when 5 guys in your camp test dirty,
100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does 5?
You saw De La Hoya
How do 5 people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes.
Including you. Then we all know what's going on. Y'all are all dirty. Jamal Charlo went even further, accusing Canelo of microdosing, taking clenbuterol in amounts designed to evade detection. Charlo added, y'all really think Canelo hasn't been using clenbuterol for years? Come on.
Jamal, I'm just asking, when you think about Canelo and the PED usage, right? This is probably the 4th or 5th fighter out of that camp that's come up hot for PEDs. Just what are your thoughts around that? And
I've been telling y'all about Snack for a long time. Victor Conte him. All right, so hear me out. No bullshit for real. They make the drug at the limit of non-responsible, right? So this right here, this level is you're banned. That's a banned substance. They will make the drug all the way up to the line of the banned substance, but it doesn't show, so it's not responsible. So they've been doing that shit for years, but now that they, tapped into it, it's getting caught. Y'all think Canelo hasn't been taking clenbuterol for a long ass time? Y'all think he ain't back on that shit? Or y'all think it was just a mistake Because I go to Mexico all the time. I'm from Houston, from Texas. I'm in Mexico all the time eating steak. I ain't never got popped for no shit like that.
When you think about
they micro-dosing it. They're look, no excuse. I'm not trying to put nobody out there. This is not just boxing. This is a lot of athletes all over the world. They make the drug right there to the line of like disqualification, but they don't surpass it. So they're not getting caught for it. A lot of these fighters are all kind of shit.
And now, ahead of their September clash, Terrence Crawford has doubled down insisting that Canelo isn't clean.
What's up, everybody? I want to give a big shout out to Snack for always supporting and helping me out with this previous fight. Snack strong, baby.
When opponents call you out before fight night, rivals openly mock you, and fans constantly question your victories, your career is at risk no matter how many belts you hold.
Not much you can do either. The other thing about it is, like, once your body doesn't produce it anymore and you're in your late 30s like that and you've been juicing for a long time.
There's like Clomid and stuff that tries to or HCT or HTC. What's is that that's a cell phone? Either way,
HCG or something like that.
Whatever it is, but it's supposed to boost your testosterone naturally, but never to the levels when you're injecting that Jamba Juice.
No, not only that though, you can't take that stuff. It's
not in the
illegal.
UFC.
Right, it's illegal.
I'm just saying that's true. I guess when he retires, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, when he retires or goes to Ryzen. Can you imagine if the UFC lets him out of the contract and then all of a sudden he disappears for like 8 months and just we hear just locked in the house with horse meat, just fillet of horse all day.
He's eating that Canelo meat
and goes back to deadlifting and hanging out with power lifters.
Let's be real, Pez. Change everything in boxing. They don't just make you stronger. They help you recover faster, cut weight more easily, and fight with greater stamina. They let you survive battles other fighters can't. That's why so many fans feel betrayed. PEDs aren't just cheap, they're dangerous. When one fighter has that advantage and the other doesn't, every punch becomes a loaded weapon. Canelo's camp history doesn't help either. Jaime Munguia, a close ally, also tested positive, which is why Benavidez says it's not just Canelo, it's the whole team. Here's the real tragedy. Canelo has done everything a fighter can. He's unified divisions, faced pound-for-pound stars, and carried boxing on his back for nearly a decade. But legacy isn't just about victories. It's about how fans remember you. Right now, Canelo teeters on being remembered not as a hero, but as a cheat. Think of names like Barry Bonds or Lance Armstrong, extraordinary athletes, yet forever tainted. That's the shadow Canelo now walks under.
You have done if you didn't cheat. It'd be very difficult, right? Old school doping, cortisone, and other things here and there. 1, maybe 2%. EPO is a 10%. What do you think we all did?
But you didn't get 10% better. You got 100% fraudulent. This isn't about redemption. It's reputation damage control in disguise. You didn't make a tough choice. You made the easiest one. Lie, inject, win, repeat. And while you were stacking trophies and $1 million brand endorsements, you were burying every clean athlete who still believed in hard work. You were a role model to me as well until you became a warning label. You didn't cheat the system. You cheated the fans, you cheated the sports, and you cheated yourself. And now you're trying to justify setting a wrong example for anyone who's actually trying to get ahead in life. And this is exactly why I don't do business with anyone who buys followers and likes on social media. Because if you lie about that, what else?
Let's be real, Canelo Alvarez isn't the same champion anymore. The aura of dominance, the fire, the explosiveness, they just aren't there like they used to be. Take his most recent fight against William Skell, for example. Fans were hyped, expecting a vintage Canelo performance. Instead, they got 12 dull, lifeless rounds, with Canelo looking more like a man coasting than the pound-for-pound king he once was. Skell, a relatively unknown Cuban fighter, posed no real threat on paper.
Crap, load of rubbish. The fight really was a waste of time. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it because there's better things you can be doing, like probably watching the grass grow or watching some paint dry maybe. But that fight was a total waste of time. Watching that as a former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and Hall of Famer, I was thinking to myself, what an opportunity you've got there. If I was fighting still 10 years ago, If that opportunity came up for me, I know Canelo Alvarez is going to be a tough fight for anybody. I know it's a long ask trying to beat a guy like that, but come on. If I'm in there with Canelo, for whatever amount of money, there's going to come a point where I'm saying, right, I'm going for it now. Probably around 3 or 4, I'm going to stick it on him and have a go. To be given an opportunity like that, Skull, defending his IBF title and potentially becoming undisputed, to go in there and just perform like that, for me, it's not acceptable. And I think in my day, and with my mindset and the way I used to fight, I'd have gone for it. Just gone for it and then give the fans, give the boxing fans, and do myself on my...
Yet Canelo didn't deliver a statement performance. He didn't go for the finish. He didn't send a message to the boxing world. Instead, it was a slow, methodical, and frankly boring unanimous decision win. That's the problem. Boxing fans aren't tuning in to watch Canelo go through the motions. They want to see him in the big, dangerous fights that define legacies. And speaking of big fights, there's one name that has haunted him for years: David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. Fans have been demanding this fight, and the boxing world has been begging for it. But time and again, Canelo has sidestepped, dismissed, or outright avoided it. Instead, he opts for safer opponents like Skell, while Benavidez keeps knocking out contenders and proving he's the real king at 168. It's not just fans pointing this out, pundits, ex-fighters, and even promoters are saying it. Canelo is protecting his status rather than proving it, because deep down, everyone knows Benavidez is a real threat. And Canelo doesn't want to risk losing the one thing that keeps his aura alive: his position as the face of boxing.
I mean, imagine if I ever ran from anybody. Like, did I run from somebody in my career? No. Did Chavez run from somebody in his career? No. Chavez was 87-0. Imagine that. So to me, that's the...
So yes, he's still winning, but his victories aren't exciting. They aren't meaningful, and they aren't the fights fans truly want. That's why more and more people are saying the same thing. This isn't the Canelo Alvarez we used to know, which brings us to his upcoming fight with Terence Crawford. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the weight difference in this matchup. On paper, it's the fight of the year, maybe even the fight of the decade. 2 pound-for-pound greats, 2 all-time legends finally meeting in the ring. But when you break it down, the size difference is huge, raising questions about whether this fight is truly fair. Canelo Alvarez has been walking around comfortably at 168 pounds, carrying natural power and muscle at super middleweight.
Opportunity to beat Canelo. I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah.
Crawford, on the other hand, has had to move up from lightweight to welterweight and is now pushing himself up 2 full divisions to meet Canelo at 168. That's a massive jump. You're looking at a fighter who normally weighs 147 to 154 pounds facing a man who's been dominating bigger, stronger, and naturally heavier opponents. The physics alone are hard to ignore. Can Crawford's speed, ring IQ, and counterpunching offset Canelo's sheer power and size? That's the big question. And yet, despite all the skepticism, fans remain excited.
Expectations for what the next couple of months are going to hold for both guys?
This is going to be super interesting for Canelo especially. Everyone's focusing on Terence Crawford because he's a smaller guy. How much weight is he going to put on, et cetera, et cetera. No rehydration clause in this fight. Meaning, you know, like when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo's the bigger guy, he put a rehydration clause in because Floyd was the money guy. If Canelo wanted the payday, he had to acquiesce and give Floyd what he wanted. Canelo's the money guy. Terence Crawford can't go in there and say, hey, I want a rehydration clause. Not that he even would, right? So everyone's looking at Crawford. How big is he going to be? But I'm looking at Canelo. What Canelo comes into this fight? The older Canelo, meaning the younger Canelo, the older guy, you know, the old, long time ago Canelo, who was a really well-rounded counterpuncher, who could do everything, or this more recent Canelo, who just hunts guys down and has become more one.
The boxing world is divided. Some believe Canelo's size and strength will bulldoze Crawford, while others argue that Crawford's skill, timing, and fight IQ are sharp enough to neutralize everything Canelo brings.
Last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And you
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look,
It's gonna be me.
I don't
And
care
you
about
will-
nobody else.
And you will see that. Day.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Same everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Why?
And that's exactly why this fight is so huge. Despite the doubts and the weight drama, the world will be watching because greatness versus greatness always draws attention. So, is it over? On paper, Canelo is still the face of boxing, making money, selling pay-per-views, and fighting in stadiums. But in the court of public opinion, he's already guilty. Every win is questioned, every loss is seen as proof he's finally exposed. Opponents don't fear him, they accuse him. And in boxing, once your reputation is gone, your career might as well be too. Canelo Alvarez will keep fighting. He'll keep cashing in. But the aura, the myth, the invincibility, those might already be gone. Is Canelo still one of the greatest ever? Or has the pet controversy already tarnished his legacy? Will the fight with Terence Crawford silence the critics? Or will it be the final nail in the coffin? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.